Well, hello, good evening. How is everyone tonight? I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light. And I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. How was your how was your day? It's January 4th in the Matrix work week. It's Wednesday, and boy, am I exhausted already somehow. That job in the Matrix just keeps me running. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to stand in the sun today. It got sunny here in New York. I don't know what it was like where you are, but it even rose up to like 50 degrees, I think it was, or even higher. Maybe it was like 65, and I was shocked about it. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Did you tune into your heart today and did you see how are you feeling? What's going on? It's very crucial that we tune into our emotions, our feelings, our senses. We become more and more aware of exactly who we are, our truest self. No one out there can really tell us what's best for us. We can, through our spirit and our heart. We can be guided. Did you have any dreams last night? Hey, Bob Harding, it was gray and snowy here. Well, okay. That's right, Bob Harding. You're in Iowa, so that's why maybe. Well, here it wasn't. It was miraculously warmer weather, rained a little bit, but I didn't really get a chance but for 5 minutes to get in the sun, and I was very sad about that. Today, we're going to cover topics like it's quite a few topics today. Boy, it's a little exhausting. I've got to wipe my brow. Our old earth poverty, apocalypse, arrests coming, rah, rah, rah for that, and ask for light codes. Of course, we're going to touch on angels and some psychic phenomenon, and I'm insisting, I'm suggesting that we all tune into our intuition. We all have that knowing within us. We have knowledge about something without even being told. It just comes through to us. Is that happening for you more readily lately? Maybe you've been practicing your psychic phenomenon. We left yesterday and I mentioned some exercises. I got into, I don't know, maybe 10 exercises you can do on your own. We don't have to do everything together. You can kind of figure some things out on your own and see what happens, because I don't know what kind of influence that I have on you. You might be better off on your own. Hey, down under, cleaning up day 4, going into day 5, run, 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 fix the snowblower, pull cord that broke. Well, good for you. We haven't had a full-fledged, have we had a full-fledged snowstorm? I don't think so. Not the kind that the kids can go sledding. Okay, your dreams. Did you have any dreams? Well, I had a dream. You know how I always speak about my destiny? And I always say, put it in your hands. What's your destiny? Let's create it. Let's embody our destiny. Let's take a quantum leap, an abrupt transition, quickly, instantaneously. Let's get to our destiny. Because our destiny is really all about our desires and our dreams and our goals. And I say, what are your 5 humongous goals? And I want you to get to your destiny. I want you to reach your personal happiness. You're a beautiful being of light. You're worthy. We're all worthy. We're all part of one. We have oneness, the law of one. Let me remind you that you're a sacred being of light. It doesn't matter what you have, material-wise, what you look like, and where you work. You're worthy as is. You're lovable as is. And I'm telling you that. And you remind yourself that you're lovable because you are. When we tune into ourselves and we have unconditional love, and we say, you know what? I have 3 authentic characteristics that make me wonderful. You can say that. You maybe have 100. Maybe you're an amazing writer, a very fantastic friend. You do good deeds. Maybe you have the most beautiful brown eyes. Whatever it is, what are your 3 characteristics? All right, maybe it's time that we move on and we get into, my dream. I forgot about my dream. Our dreams are really helpful because they might guide us and give us messages and signs. And let me remind you also, I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm here Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. My dream last night, I mentioned destiny. See how I got off the track there? I got to get back on the track or I won't reach my destiny. I had a dream actually with some famous people, and they were hosts. They were very famous hosts, and they were telling me that I was supposed to be working as being a host, and that's really what my intention is. And I look forward to that day where I'm on a platform, although here I am doing it here. So what's the difference really? I guess it's about considered success in the matrix. We're all stuck on that. Even I'm stuck on the matrix success. Okay, old earth poverty. Have you been experiencing that in your lifetime? Old earth poverty? And when I speak of old earth, I'm speaking about the third dimension, I'm speaking about the matrix, and I'm speaking of the poverty that's been existing there. And why is that? Because we've been kept held down. Like I say, we've been enslaved. We've had mind control. And we think that everyone, you're either really wealthy, maybe you're the middle class, which is kind of seeming to leave, and then you might be in poverty or poor. I mean, why is there such a vast difference? Why can't everyone just be living in wealth? I agree, all of us should be living in wealth. So old earth poverty are common beliefs, policies, ways, rituals, patterns of design, structures to control the people with material needs. We've realized as we've been living in this physical reality, what's out there in the community, across the nation, across the globe, is how important it is to have stuff. What kind of stuff? Let me look around. I don't know. What stuff? I don't really have any fancy stuff here. I don't know. Your phone? You know how important it is to have your phone? How important it is to have expensive pens, maybe clothing. And we've been taught, we've believed that you won't be liked if you don't have that. And that some of it, it's not our choice, was it? We weren't born into wealth. Maybe we weren't born into some fancy lifestyle. And so we have to kind of run, task, rush, because we have to get somewhere, because we were told it's not really cool socially to be in poverty or to be poor. And we have to have money, lots of it, because there's so much that we have to do. We're supposed to be, taking vacations, which I would love to take a vacation, taking vacations, having fancy cars, having beautiful clothes, having big, amazing houses, lots of wealth, stuff. Lack of means to live, being poor is a fear. We've been raised to believe that if you have no money, which is this currency, this thing that was created, and we believe in these structures, that how important it is. We were taught from the time we were little. I remember going into the 5 and dime store with my mom, and if I wanted to get something, I had to have some money. And we really had this fear, keep the wolf from the door, or you have to pay your bills, you have to pay your taxes. What if I lose my job? What if I don't have medical means? What if I don't have a transportation? I mean, it's very scary, isn't it? Hey, Michael Genova, how are you? I want more money. I met you on Twitter. Thanks for joining us. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. And Down Under says, that's because people take a step toward and keep on going. Some people just want to get by and other people gave up. Well, you know what? It's what we were taught. We were taught lacking. If we were lacking, if we didn't have currency, we didn't have cash, we didn't have credit cards, we didn't have money, then we weren't accepted. We weren't accepted. And we weren't able to actually possess, all these beautiful things. So it's the state in which a person lacks financial resources is poverty. And they live in a minimal standard of life. And more than you realize, people are living in poverty across the globe. 689 million people are living in extreme poverty, which they're living on just $1.90 a day. Now, in the US, 10% of this nation is living in poverty. It's 34 million 34 million. And well, thanks, Michael. And so we have this like I've used this example before. I live near Manhattan. I live 45 minutes outside Manhattan, and there are these beautiful horses, these poor horses, I guess, and they are giving you rides around Central Park and in that vicinity. And they have to wear these blinders because they literally put the horse right next to all the cars. Now, if the horse didn't have the blinders on, they'd probably go a little nutso. We have the blinders on. If we took them off, we might say, oh my gosh, what's been going on? And that's why we've awakened to another reality. We've realized there's another possible belief system out there. And so we've been trained and we've believed that it's so important to have this concentration of capital, of power, this influence of large or combined capital. Now, in the US, 10% of the population is living below the poverty line, they say, which is 34 million. And that's basically they're living with only 12,000 a year. Now we know what's been going on right now. The price of everything has gone up. I went to go shopping, just for this weekend celebration. And I'm thinking, if I get this, I can't get that. If I get that, I can't get this. And that's where my mind was at. You're trying to coerce your mind into figuring out what to do. And you have to eat. You have to eat. I mean, if you don't eat, we're not going to survive. So we've been raised in this fear, and it's coming on more and more. Just like I just say that, if you listen to that news, which was the television was created, it was invented for the family to sit around, the beautiful family to sit around and watch and be entertained. The news is not for us to be taken seriously because it's all paid programming, isn't it? But we are basically trained, we've been brainwashed that the most important thing is to have stuff. It's not about what's here in our DNA. And so how are people getting by? I don't know, on $35 a day. Now, our human necessities are food, water, shelter. And beyond that, we do need transportation to get around, don't we? I mean, what if you're in a place where there's lots of, bad weather? How are you supposed to get around? Of course, you have to have a car. So the old earth poverty is leaving. That's the exciting part of what I'm saying. I had to get to that. Here I am right now in this moment. All of what I just said, this capitalism is leaving. Capitalism is leaving. And consumerism is leaving. And, of course, we're all going to still want to have things. However, I don't know how it's going to go after some of this change happens, this shift that's going on. I said last night, what if all the walls came down in your house and you were left with no walls standing? All the sides of everything came down and here you were. What would you create? Where would your mind go? What kind of vision do you have for your utopia, for the most beautiful heaven on earth? What is that? Well, mine would definitely not be about financial stuff. I wouldn't think that capitalism would be important. I mean, sure, I'd want to make sure that I had clothes on my back and food, but I wouldn't be focused on buying super fancy clothes or having the most expensive of something. In fact, I don't even know if we'll still have that, because when all of that's gone and technology is basically gone, what's going to happen? When technology, we all have to communicate person to person or mind to mind. Something else is going to happen, and I'm going to get into Lightcodes in a little bit. But right now, what's happening is we are going through, not about to, the apocalypse. And so the apocalypse is the unveiling, the disclosure of information. There's going to be visions, cosmic energies. There's going to be these mysteries that are uncovered, and then we're going to know the truths. Now, you're seeing it out there. You're seeing a lot of truths. I mean, I've been sharing with you, there's the Twitter files, and it's talking about how the FBI and the CIA and all of them were actually working at Twitter and what they were doing and sharing online and preventing people from having expression. We all need to have expression. We don't want to block our throat chakra, do we? No, we have to express ourselves. And I said, maybe you need to journal. Up, here's one for you. I had an apartment for rent and I required a credit score of X, and they must make 3X the rent. So I have a person say, hey, wait a minute, make 3X, but then have a credit score of 300. Yeah, I know all this credit stuff, it's going to go out the window. We're having Nasara Jasara, aren't we? Nasara Jasara, which is a law that's going to take us into a world without the IRS, a world without debt. And we're going to have an election rather than a selection of leaders. Maybe we won't need leaders anymore. Maybe we'll just operate on our own. Do we need someone to be telling us what to do? We're not babies. We need to put our big boy pants on and our big girl pants on, and we need to grow up and take care of ourselves. Stop living in so much fear. Fear of death, fear of poverty, fear. You know what fear does? It keeps us with our blinders on. It keeps us conforming. We're rebels. You and I, we're rebels. We're awakened beings of light. We're in the front of the line. We're the first of the volunteers. The wave of volunteers are coming in. Now, in the last few days, last night we spoke about suddenly died, suddenly this, suddenly that. And with all the suddenlies, people are starting to wake up. They're starting to question everything. Yeah, some of them have some really fast answers for suddenly. But there's the other ones out there who are now starting to worry and wonder what exactly happened in the last 2.5 years. Now, we know that there's been the rollout of the 5G. There's been the rollout of this medicine that we had to take. We were demanded to take it. We were going to lose our jobs. We were going to not be liked. Oh my gosh, we're not going to be liked. Oh no. So what if we're not liked? Again, grow up. Put on your big boy pants. So the apocalypse is happening right now. This unveiling you're going to be experiencing, it's coming quickly. It's coming quickly. You know, the timeline that we're on in the fifth dimension, we are ascending. We're coming from a higher consciousness, a higher vibration. You're going to attract more light into your life, more opportunities. And we're going to speak about how to activate your light codes. So there's going to be catastrophes. Yes. Now, are we going to be harmed? I don't think so. I think it's going to kind of play out in front of us. You know, it's like watching a car crash. Have you ever watched a car crash? I have. I'm thinking that way too, Bob. I used to make big money, but I had bigger problems. I retired at 45 and live within my means. Okay, good for you, Bob. I don't live far from a main intersection. One day, it was in the summer, I was standing on the edge of the curb, and I had a feeling, don't cross the curb. And it said walk, but I didn't walk. And this car comes into the intersection, and it's again, I guess it went through the red light. I'm guessing it was a red light. And I saw it coming through into the intersection, and I just watched it. And I saw this other car, and I watched the one car crash into the other car. And I couldn't move. I froze. I just watched it. It wasn't far from me either. That's what we're going to be encountering. We are going to be encountering some very unusual circumstances. It's not going to be just a glitch in the matrix. We're not going to see clones. You know, when we have some of these celebrities go out there and their eyes aren't moving properly, or they seem like they're frozen. There was some of these government officials that were standing there like this, and we don't know if it was a real person or they were wearing a mask or they were a clone or whatever they were. It's very strange. It's going to be way beyond that, because it's going to be more of life or death. It's going to be more of life or death. It's going to be more environmental issues, and it's going to be basically the crumbling down. Now, those out there that have committed evil, they've committed evil against humanity, crimes against humanity. They're going to suffer now. They're going to suffer because they gave away their power to evil and dark forces. And now you're going to see it play out. And I always say, we don't want to harm anyone. We don't want to send negativity. We want to embrace everyone with love. We're all part of each other. We're all one. So let's try to have some compassion, but it's going to be kind of crazy. It really, really is. And I heard there's going to be something also on Twitter called the Fauci Files to see what that's all about. So it's the final destruction of the world as we know it. That's what we're encountering right now. We're here in this moment. It's never going to go back to what it was, and all the secrets are going to be uncovered. And that's what Revelation is. The biblical book of Revelation is the Apocalypse. And in the New Testament, the Apocalypse of John. I'm going to get into that for a second. Now, I'm going to share with you. Yes, I believe in God. You know, I'm all about God and Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ, and I pray and I go to church. However, I'm not schooled in this, so I had to do some research. So if there's anything that I say that isn't accurate according to your belief system, I'm just sharing, what I found, and I hope it's accurate. So the New Testament, the Apocalypse of John, seems like the world has ended, but it's the confrontation with the divine that it transforms how a person views everything. And that's what they say Revelation is. It's basically the unveiling. So it's the unveiling. And then there's the 7 signs in the Bible, and it basically comes to pass that good will triumph over evil. And I do believe that myself. I always have thought that, in my own experiences and stories in my own life, I've seen that. And it's almost the way the universe works. Eventually evil is defeated. Evil's defeated. And we have to believe that. And you know what? Maybe part of that is how we think, right? Our thoughts are so powerful. I say that they carry a charged impulse. There's feelings and emotions, and we have cause and effect, the law of cause and effect, and we can change the outcome through our thoughts. We can bring good times for ourselves. And that's probably part of the reason why I focus on angels, divine energies. I speak of miracles. I speak of light on the horizon, watching a sunrise, because it means good things are coming beyond our view. A difficult situation will improve. And that's how I've operated in my life. And have I had tragedy? Oh my gosh, absolutely. I've had some very serious things I've shared with you. I've had near-death experiences. I've had some really, really tough times. However, I wake up every morning and I brush myself off and I keep going. And that's what I'm sharing with you. And I believe this apocalypse, this revealing of what's going to happen, is going to be in a positive direction. I spoke about old earth. We're going into new earth. We're going into peace on earth. We're going to come out of our homes and we're going to hug one another. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hug one another. I'm thinking that way too. Okay. And I believe that you are also an awakened soul, an awakened being. You're a sacred being of light. You're a light worker or starseed. And we're here to basically guide the masses, into this new earth, to where we're going. Because as these structures crumble and as this apocalypse is going on, there's going to be a lot of scared people out there. Now, you and I know what the truths are. But imagine just finding out all the truths right now. It's a little scary. So there's going to be extraordinary events that are going to take place that unexpectedly. And is there a way to prepare yourself? I've tried so hard myself because I've been an intuitive. And so I've said, and part of that was fear within me. I'd be like, let me try to figure out what's going to happen. And I try to have a premonition. But I'm finding right now is that if I'm just, I'm coming from alignment, I have alignment, and I'm grounded in the earth, and I remind myself I am powerful, I am safe, I am strong, I am brave, I can get through a whole lot. And if I live in this moment, so I'm suggesting to you that if you feel overwhelmed in the future, in the near future, by some of these events, even know that you're aware. Even know that if you're aware more than most people are. Even if you're aware, I'm suggesting that you constantly remind yourself to live in the moment. And then you won't feel so overwhelmed. Because even if we prepare ourselves mentally, we really don't know it. Like I said, it's going to be unexpected. Now, why am I telling you this? Because every single day, I guess it's around midday, I say, what are the topics? And something comes through. I'm not sitting there and I'm not deciding. It just is coming through. And this is the topic that came through. So I know that it's important information. Now, God destroys the ruling power of evil. That's what they say in the book of Revelation. And causes the righteous to live. You know, they say the meek shall inherit the earth. And I did a video about that I guess it was maybe even 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. And what was that exactly? The meek are not the weakest. The meek are the strongest. The meek are going to inherit the earth. The meek are the ones that are there and they're just sitting there with neutrality and they're being patient and they have compassion and they're courageous and they have stability, I guess you could say, stability. So the book of Revelation is a series of visions with Jesus Christ appears to a prophet. And the prophet says he goes to heaven to see God and is told by the angels about the future. Now, I didn't realize that. I didn't really realize that myself. I don't know if you knew that. And the angels speak about the future and the four horsemen. And I'm going to share what the four horsemen are. And they break it down. So there are spiritual powers at work, whether we realize it or not. I say that we can only see 1% of what's going on out here in the physical reality. I do believe, though, as we ascend, all of everything that is here, it's not going to be just in our third eye that we can see. We're going to see with our eyes, our physical eyes, and we're going to hear with our ears. All of our senses are coming online, and that's why we practice ESP and psychic phenomenon. And so spiritual powers are here at work around us, whether we realize it or not. There's many frequencies that are traveling, in your physical reality right now. You just can't see them. Now, little animals like Elsa over here, who's sleeping on the couch, she's sitting here, she can sense things. Animals can sense. They have very strong instinctual abilities. And I believe that we're going to head into that. Now, in the heavenly realms, there's angels that are ascending and descending. I share with you all the time that my belief in angels and Archangel Michael. So that John's revelation. So the first horseman in Revelation rides a white horse and carries a bow, and a crown represents a conquest. Okay. The second horseman carries a sword and rides a red horse and is the creator of war and conflict. So the first one carries a crown and represents conquest. The second one represents war and conflict. And the third horseman is a food merchant who rides a black horse, symbolizing famine, and carries scales. Now, the fourth horseman is pale and rides death, accompanied by Hades. So I believe Hades represents evil, the devil, Satan. Now, they were given authority over a quarter of the earth to kill with a sword, famine, and plague, and by the means of the beast. And the mention of the beast, now I never realized this. This is Last Judgment. So in Last Judgment, there's false prophets, 4 angels, 7 angelic trumpeters, Archangel Michael, and the beast. So the beast. Now, that to me right there, the name the beast, it sounds to me like basically evil. And, we can kind of figure that out ourselves. So a beast is considered an unpleasant, cruel person, an animal. The beast in Revelation is mentioned 37 times. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Because I'm kind of looking for signs and symbols. I'm looking for indications of what's about to happen. Or, like I say, I kind of try to predict things, or I look for some kind of information. And this is what I was drawn to. So I'm wondering if this is going to play out. So the beast in Revelation was mentioned 37 times in the Bible. The beast will have the power to kill whoever do not do his bidding. And maybe that's already happened. Maybe the beast has already been killing those who didn't do his bidding. Or, I don't believe the beast is going to win, though. The beast is going into the dumpster, just going to be exterminated. And here's some quotes. I saw a beast riding up out of the sea, 7 heads and 10 horns, and horns of 10 crowns. Sounds evil to me. The dragon gave him his power and his throne and his ability, so they worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. And then he opened his mouth and against God, his name, and those who dwell in heaven. The symbol of the beast represents civil government, hostility towards God and the people of God. And they make war with the saints and overcome them. So that's kind of what I found out about the apocalypse. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel and share with me anything that you want, because like I said, I do my research and I'm trying to figure this out. And I know that we are on our own, singularly, in our own homes, in our own lives. We can kind of shut a lot of this out that's going on out in the physical reality. And I think that's a good thing. Don't watch the news. Watch joyful shows if you're going to watch anything, something that brings entertainment. Maybe take care of, whatever it is that you need to do, and spend time with your passions and your interests, and have fun. I believe we're born here to have fun in this moment. I don't think that we're born to have a 9-to-5 job and work and pay, and then we retire for a few years until we pass. I don't think so. I think that there was something else out there for us. So let me get into arrests coming. Who's going to get arrested? Who's going to get arrested? I don't know. Who do you think? What does that mean exactly? What do you think it means? They're going to jail. They're going to be locked up. Or something worse. I have to say, I realized today, and I said this before, whenever I see someone out in the public, a leader, an entrepreneur, a celebrity, and how much wealth they have is found out, it seems to they go down fast after that. Because, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, there's the old earth poverty we've been living in. We've all been trying to keep our head above water so that we're not choking underneath the water, and that we can kind of get by and have a nice life and have some joy. I want some personal happiness and joy in this lifetime. Don't you? And so I think the arrests are coming. I really believe that. So an arrest is someone who's seized by authority, and they've stopped and they've been taken into custody. So who's going to take the bad guys into custody? Maybe those who are going to take the bad guys are the bad guys. No, I don't think so. There's going to be a new system going on, and I sense that they say the white hats, there's the black hats and the white hats. I sense that the white hats are going to kind of maneuver their way into making some arrests. And if you get arrested, what happens? You're in prison, you're in custody. So those who have lied, this is I'm giving you I'm foretelling. I'm giving you a foretelling. Even if they get arrested, you always hear they will do hard time. Yeah, right, hard time. Gym classes. No, I don't think it's going to be like that. When the power grid falls, so does the surveillance state. Yes, both of you. Bob Harding and Down Under. Well, I truly believe that there are going to be arrests. Now, I just want to say that back in the day, years and years ago, remember in the days where I guess it was in the medieval times, and, you get a gang there'd be a gang of townspeople, and they'd be walking around with their pitchforks, and they'd have all their farm tools, and they go after someone that they think did them wrong. I sense that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing that there's going to be arrests, but I also think that the people, the people out there, the humans out there, I don't know if they're going to be so compassionate and kind when they find out some of the lies and the corruption, the lawlessness. I think they might be getting together with their pitchforks and going after those that should be arrested or are arrested. They're not going to get away with it. No one gets away with anything. Whether you realize it or not, no one ever gets away with anything. If you do something naughty, you're going to get caught and it's going to come out. The truth always comes out in the wash. That's what I say. Always comes out in the wash. So who are we talking about? There's going to be groups that are arrested, or maybe there'll be a gang that goes after them, and they're going to be arrested for human trafficking and child trafficking. That's for sure. There's going to be leaders, politicians that have committed crimes, whatever they may be. If it was something, if they physically harmed someone, if they laundered money, if they did anything like that, naughty as well, they're done. Then there's going to be the doctors, and maybe the Dr. F, who lied about medical procedures. I sense that he's going to get in trouble. Down under, what way different back then started things? You can go imagine now. You touched me with one finger, I got a lawyer. You touched me with one finger and I got a lawyer? What? Oh, you're funny. Okay, this fake suicides, the murders, the cover-ups, all of this, it's all going to come, it's all going to be disclosed. We're going to see it. The curtain's getting removed and everything's going to be seen. Now, we know, because we've been awakened, we kind of know some of what's going on out there. By the way, if there's any kind of weird, if the video goes down, please tell me, because last night I didn't realize that some of it was fuzzy. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it anyway. Everything's connected. So there's some fake suicides, murders, cover-ups, psyops. Is that what they're called? Psyops. And those who promoted fake pharma requirements, like Bill Gates promoting big pharma, depopulation, the CEOs of big pharma, the FBI, the CIA, the CDC officials, the medical professionals spreading lies, preventing anyone from harming humanity is where we should focus on. No one else is allowed to hurt humanity anymore. Now, I heard some of these tunnels underground were blown up. They took some of these children out. I don't know if that's true or not. Allegedly, like I say, unless I see it before me with my own eyes, I have to see it in front of me. And that's why I'm just sharing information, making you more aware, and speaking about topics that I sense are important right now. So we are beginning to replace all the old beliefs with new ideas, and we're going to track every single wrongdoer in the future. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to say, I saw that. Can't get away with that now. However, I do believe the more light that comes onto the earth, the more that light fills our bodies, and we're going to get into light codes, the less likely chance there's going to be wrongdoers, and evil crimes committed against humanity. Those who have assisted in destroying humanity are done for. They will be arrested, or they will be chased by a mob, for sure. I promise you. Now, do you have any idea who they are? Do you have any knowledge of anyone? I mean, make a list. I mean, I could make a list. We all could make a list. And maybe with our thoughts, we're going to bring it into fruition. To me, I can't quite understand why someone would want to hurt another human, and more than one human. I can't wrap my brain around it. But there's evil out there. Maybe they were mind controlled. Maybe they were possessed. Maybe they were just mentally ill. I don't know. But it was maybe I'm making an excuse for them. I don't know. It's very sad. Anyway, I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Today we covered the old earth poverty, apocalypse, arrests coming. And now let's get into something more positive. Let's get into ask for light codes. let's get into light codes. So asking for light codes, you're going to open the door and reach for your truest potential. Now, light codes are ancient healing codes, ancient energy healing codes of wisdom and knowledge. And you're going to learn to activate, or you will, or you have activated your light body. So it's about unconditional love. The more that we come from a place of living in love for ourselves and for others, the more we have the potential to bring in more light codes into our system. And I'm going to describe what the light codes are, if you don't know already. Now, as we ascend, as we come from a place of neutrality, of patience, of compassion, of love, and we heal ourselves, we heal all of ourselves. And it might be part of the process you receive light codes. You're going to receive these light codes and your DNA is going to be activated. It's your own personal blueprint activation. And within your DNA, you have these light codes. So more that light that comes into your body, the more you will activate your light codes. And that's why I say it's kind of important for us to be outside and spend time in light, although at this time of the year, it's difficult because, like myself and some of you might be in a place that it's more cold weather, the sun isn't coming out as much. So if you can get a chance to, like I'm crossing my fingers that over the weekend, I have my job off from the matrix, I can get in the sunlight. So light codes heal and they explore your abilities, timelines, and ascension. And it's about your true power that's within you, your light codes. It's going to bring all of you online. So these light codes will upgrade your body, access your specific blueprint and your cosmic DNA. Now, here's some pictures. I haven't even been holding any pictures up today. So like, for example, it's going to bring all of this light. You're going to have light that's coming through you, into your crown chakra, through your entire body. And you're going to kind of feel as though you're glowing some of the time. You might go through different body temperatures when this happens. You might feel really hot sometimes, really cold sometimes, and you're not sick. You're going through ascension symptoms, and light codes are ascension symptoms because we are ascending to a higher consciousness, to a higher vibration, to a higher frequency. And as we do that, we discover more about our own abilities. So it's streams of information that are transmitted through the universe in your DNA. And so when I say activate, it's almost like everything within your whole entire physical body is morphing. It's transmuting into another form. It's going from carbon-based to crystalline light. Oh, I'm getting such a headache here. Oh. And so light language is one of the symptoms, I guess you could say, which I kind of, here's some examples. Light language might look like this. You're gonna see it and you might hear it. And light language is, again, ancient healing codes. And it's the language of your soul. It's pure love. Light codes activations is pure love. So all your energy is affected by light and sound. So the codes traveling through the ether, also in crystals, sacred sites, and ley lines. So if you are interested in, if you're interested in finding out more about light code activations, you want to go to sacred sites, maybe the pyramids, ley lines. And ley lines are the crossing over in certain geographical locations. And they say some of these sacred sites are actually at ley lines, like the pyramids. So higher vibrational natural light. So the codes are beamed to you and they awaken you. If I seem kind of a little out of it, I'm very tired. I didn't sleep much last night. I'm probably going to go to sleep right after this because I'm a tired girl. I'm so tired. And so your dormant DNA is going to be activated. I'm just trying to give some kind of visual so you get an idea of where I'm coming from. And, I don't know, I just want to kind of, sometimes it's hard to describe. And if I show you a picture, you might have more of an understanding. And, like this, for example, is showing the chakras. And we've been speaking about the chakras that are running through your body. But also, it just, when you start to get light codes, your eyes are closed. It's before you wake up or before you go to sleep. And you sense it's something different. Just like when we do psychic phenomenon, you know that that's information from another source. It's the same with this, except it feels very personal. Like it's like personal information that you're supposed to learn. It's I guess messages, you want to say. It's messages personalized for you. Now, I don't know when these light codes were put into our systems, but they're there. And so you're reaching your higher self, and you're going to feel them in your heart, and you might hear them as light language. You might hear sounds, tones. You might have extraterrestrials that will contact you, and they might look like this. And I know that sounds bizarro. I think this guy is Ashtar, Commander Ashtar, I want to say. And it's very unusual. You also are going to have these codes of consciousness that come through: sacred geometry, colors, lights, sounds, sound waves, frequencies of information. And it's like a memory that's coming to you. I mentioned our memories are coming back, and this is going to be part of it. You're going to receive light codes. Now, is everyone across the board? I don't know. I don't know if everyone else is going to receive them, but I know us, the light workers and the star seeds, are going to receive this information, and it's going to help us to become stronger and more of a leader, and help everyone else who becomes awakened and guide them. And it's going to bring more of your truest identity to you. You're not going to be surprised, put it that way. And I've said, we almost have these memories of ourselves as children. Maybe we'll do one little activity today and an exercise about this. That might be where we're going. Okay, so these codes are activated when you meditate. So some ways to bring this forward for you would be to meditate. You can set an intention. You can create. You can ask for the light codes to be brought to you with your guides, and ask, for this to be activated within your system. And that's why I say ask for light codes. We want to ask this and have this happen rapidly. Bring it forward quicker. We don't want to be sitting around and waiting. We want to get this information as soon as possible, because we have to prepare ourselves. There's going to be a lot of change that comes, and we need our light codes. We need this activation of our dormant DNA. We need it right in this moment. And I ask for my light codes all the time. You might want to ask. Autocardiography is your individual ley lines. It can show your places where you have different energy. Well, thank you so much for that. Now, if you're in love, that's one way to activate your light codes. If you spend a lot of time in love, if you're going back and forth between the fifth dimension and the third dimension, or the fifth dimension, the fourth dimension, and you're not completely in love, it's going to be harder for you. So let's try with all our might and concentration to be more in love, which means we're not going around saying mean things to others. Our thoughts, words, and actions. Our thoughts, our words, and actions are positive. Try it. And, we are going to allow healing for ourselves and others. So we're going to bring you're going to bring home your soul. And you're going to, I don't know if you've ever heard of soul retrieval. We spoke about shamans, and soul retrieval is when you have something very traumatic happen to you. And for example, you might be a child and something very upsetting happened to you. And at that moment, it was so traumatic that piece of your soul left. And that happened to me, and I felt as though I had pieces of me all scattered everywhere because I didn't feel safe. And it's about tuning into your and speaking to your inner child. I don't know if you've ever heard that terminology. So our inner child within us didn't feel safe. And we can have what's called soul retrieval. You can kind of find out about that on your own, or you can go to a practitioner. And if you feel as though or sense that you had something traumatic, you can kind of investigate that, maybe through, like we mentioned, looking at old pictures or going to a location that you used to live at, something to kind of jog your memory to get through that. Because we must love all of ourselves. And when we get a piece of our soul that's broken off from us, we want to pull it back into and connect with all of us. And as you activate all of you, as you activate your light codes, you're going to realize that pieces of your soul are going to come back, memories are going to come back. You're going to have to look at all the stuff that bothered you, any kind of circumstances or experiences you had that harmed you, or you had pain in your heart. You're going to have to get through, but it's going to be over pretty fast. It's not like where you go to therapy for 10 years and you never feel like you ever get better and you just keep circling back. You're going to get through it quicker. These light codes are going to activate your dormant DNA. So I'm going to remind you that each extraterrestrial has their own light code, vibration, frequency, and function. So let's say someone like this contacts you, or someone like this. Each one of them is benevolent, and those guys are benevolent, and they have their own frequency and vibration. Okay, so let's get on to psychic phenomenon, because we're almost hitting the 1 hour mark, and I am tired. And maybe you are too, because you work in the matrix as well. Okay, so each and every one of us has the potential to reach their higher self, to have self-actualization, to connect to our intuitive abilities. You have intuitive abilities within you. You have a knowing. It's just about accessing it. If you'd like, this is all if you'd like. It's all suggestions. Mad Marsh is back. Hey, Mad Marsh, how are you? Good for you to be here. Everyone who's joining us, thank you for joining us this evening. So, our psychic phenomenon, have you been practicing anything in the last day or two? Or, have you received any premonitions? Are you guided? Do you have more of a knowing about events before they happen? Are you, without even thinking about it, are you just following a flow? You might get into a flow. That's what seems to be going on with me. I seem to get into a flow, and it's not so difficult anymore for me to kind of find my way. I am tired though. I'm a little bit tired because I need more sleep. Okay, so we're going to tune in. We're going to let out a breath, and let's get into some psychic phenomenon. We're going to have a good night. Time to pick up my daughter. Okay, well, you have a wonderful day. Wonderful evening there down under. Thanks for joining us. All right, everyone. So we're going to relax. We're going to close our eyes. And today we're going to do something very simple. And I don't know if you're going to appreciate it, but we're going to do something very simple, because I want to kind of remind you how important some of the simple stuff is. Okay, so we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to relax. I always get very stiff neck. Okay, we're going to relax. We're going to close our eyes. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to feel like we're a rag doll. We're just going to, let go of any tension in any parts of our body. Our arms. If you're sitting, maybe you're laying down, just relax. Just feel at ease. I'm hoping that you can just relax yourself into a place where you calm your spirit down. You calm your heart down. You lower your blood pressure. And you just Shut down. Shut down a lot of all the activity. And we're going to basically send any thoughts away. Nothing before this moment, nothing in front of this moment. We're just going to be in this moment, focused on our psychic phenomenon, focused on our clear senses. All right, so we let out a breath. If you have to let out through a sound, let go. Okay, we're like a rag doll. We're letting go. Now I'd like you to surrender and drop down into all of your senses. Let's drop down into our senses, which means we make physical contact. We're going to surrender. We're going to have patience. We're going to have focus. We're going to have concentration. And we're going to check our hearing. What are we hearing right now in this physical reality? What do we see anything in our third eye? Is your third eye open? Have you activated your third eye? How do we activate it? We can activate it by asking to activate it. We can meditate. We can go into a place, very stillness. So maybe we go into a place of stillness right now. We just relax everything in our bodies. We're going to relax all the systems. And I'm going to remind you, so we're going to relax how we feel emotionally, where we are in our heart. We're going to relax our mental capacity. We're going to not have any thoughts. We're going to relax our physical being. So we're just really focused on our breath right now. Okay, so now I would like you to tune into, if you feel as though you're really relaxed, you almost could just kind of doze off because you're so relaxed. You feel very much at peace. You're asking for peace to come into your heart. And I'm recommending that you choose one of your clear senses. So maybe it's your hearing, maybe it's your feeling, maybe it's your touch. Whatever it is, you're going to choose one of those. And I'd like you to really tune into that. I'd like you to really tune into whatever you're choosing, which clear sense you're choosing. Okay, so I'm going to choose, like I normally do, my hearing. Now, you might receive some impressions, and they're going to come through as maybe sound, maybe a tone, maybe something you see, maybe, you might go somewhere else. You might have a conversation with someone. So we're relaxed. So my suggestion is that you pick one of your clear senses, maybe your smell, maybe your taste, maybe your feeling, maybe your knowing. And my suggestion is go to that clear sense and bring peace. The suggestion is peace, so you can relax even more. So for me, I'm going to go to my clairaudience, and I'm going to have the suggestion of peace. I'm going to be quiet, and let's see if you receive any impressions. Okay, so for me, I heard a cowbell, which I don't know if that was actually, I just heard, there's the bell that the actual old time bell that would be on around a cow's neck. I heard that. And I got very distracted. Let me see if I receive any more impressions. Okay, so I'm outside and it's just a very peaceful location. And I guess it was for me. For me, actually, I didn't feel as though stressed out. And I'm giving this suggestion to you for peace because in the past, I've given the suggestion of going to a place of joy, waking up tomorrow, and I know that it's essential for each of us to recognize what that feeling is for us. We all know the feeling of being in pain. We all know the feeling of being disliked or hurt. We know the feeling of when we're angry. But a lot of us, it's very uncommon for us to get to a place of peace because we have been rushing, or a place of joy. And how are we ever going to achieve that again if we can't remind ourselves? So I think I believe it's very important for us from time to time to actually try to access that. So for me, a place of peace is outside in nature. I don't know what you received. Maybe you want to share with us. And everything that I'm saying here is I'm only guided to share this with you because I think it might be helpful and healing. And I, you know, I want people to get out of the way of being harmed. I don't want humanity to be injured, and it's what my purpose is. Well, I just want to share. I'm wishing everyone well. I'm going to go. I'm going to get off right now because I'm tired, but I'll be back again tomorrow. Tonight we covered old earth poverty, apocalypse. You can see, and I hope you write in the comments. I hope you find me on social media. We covered arrests coming and ask for light codes. Again, how are we going to reach our light codes? How are we going to activate them? Through meditation. Get some sleep, be well. Thank you so much, Mad Marsh. And our energy is affected by light and sound. The more that we can turn off electronics, if you want to watch TV, that's fine. But be aware too that the router is giving off radiation, and we should try to not to have a router in our room when we're sleeping. I had lived in my previous home and I had a router in my bedroom, and I always felt like I was a raw nerve. Plus I had these telephone poles that came right together outside of my window. And it was very disarming to me, and very, I guess I felt as though I was super vulnerable, and I couldn't get my thoughts straight because there was just too much coming at me. So just be aware of that. And so let's try to have stillness at least once a day. Let's try to have quiet. And, I bet when we go to sleep at night, it'll be easier to sleep. And I hope that you activate your light codes, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I'll be back again tomorrow, Thursday night at 7. And then I'm off until next week, till Monday. You can always look at all my videos. I have many videos. I need to remember to unplug it at night. Good. I have many videos up. I've been doing this for 6 months live. So if there's a topic that you want to find out about, I've covered a lot of different topics. Just scroll through my videos. Before I go, I'm going to remind you about angels or beings of light. They're celestial beings of light. They're benevolent. They come from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. And there's maybe some signs that you're going to receive that an angel is present. Maybe you'll see a feather on the ground. Maybe you'll see numbers. I've been getting a lot of repetition in numbers, triples, like 444, 333. And all of them have meanings. They're angel numbers. Maybe you see them on license plates, or you just see them in some kind of sequence somewhere. So there's voices, numbers, cents, phone calls, pennies. Well, pennies are rare, aren't they? They're getting rid of those coins. They don't want us to have any coins anymore. white feathers, dreams, music, birds, and sparks of light. You ever see sparks of light out of the corner of your eye? Maybe it's an angel. The more we ascend to a higher consciousness, to the light, because we're all going to light, we're going back to where we came from. Our memories are returning. When we all get to light, we're going to see all the angels. They're going to be present. We'll see the ascended masters. Maybe we'll even see those who have passed. I don't know. Topic. Oh, Baba Vanga. I'll have to look that up. All right, everyone, I'm going to spin light, and you're in the middle of it. I'm going to lift up Elsa, because Elsa, oh, no, she's sleeping. I won't bother. I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it. And I always suggest that we imagine light circling us, white light. When I say white light, I mean the light. If you look up at the sun, that light, the light that's coming down, that white light, imagine that white light circling you clockwise 3 times and counterclockwise 3 times. Now, if you're empathic, you probably know that when you surround yourself with light, when you go white light, when you go into a crowd, sending that to you, when you go into a crowd, you won't receive everyone's memories and energies and moods, because you feel, oh my gosh, so overwhelmed if you don't surround yourself with light. So that's my recommendation. So everyone have a wonderful night, and I'll be back again tomorrow. So be well. I'm going to lift up Elsa. Elsa, you want to come up and say hi? Elsa's my little Havanese. She's saying hi to everyone. And she's like, okay, everyone, we love you. Everyone be well. Be back again tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for joining us. I hope you liked the video.